Hi, Carol here. Welcome to my craft room and welcome to my number 3 Friday design team as a guest for Tupelo Designs LLC. And here I'm snipping off an Avery L tag die set with my cutters so I get all those little tabs off the ends because they're very sharp. Now, when you order an order at Tupelo's, number one, they are giving away, if you place a $40 order or more, you have an opportunity to win a $100 gift planner with all the embellies. And it's worth up to $100. And all you have to do is order $40. You already get free shipping, international shipping, sales galore, and so many companies over there. It is worth checking it out. I encourage you to go over there and check it out. So now, and it runs from yesterday and it's running till the end of April. So I would just ask if you go over and check them out. You'll love, love, love it. Their store. And here I wanted to show you this sentiment. It said across the miles, and it had like smiles across the miles. I'll leave all the links to all the products. But I thought I saw the word mail call, and I thought with the tiles and the roses made me think of houses for some reason. So I got out my poppy stamp ALPINE collection. It's a two-part collection and it makes 3D house images. So you get this one and then you get the back of the row houses, and this way you can have the roofs. Is it roofs or roofs or the roof? I don't know. It's one of those, but you get to put together. You know it's late when I'm acting silly. You get to put them together and get 3D houses is what I'm trying to say. So now I'm going to take my metal base plate and my magnet board, and I'm going to run this through 5 times on the white cardstock, and it's 140 pound, and 5 times on my 120 pound cardstock of black. And I'll show you why in a minute. I'm using the Hero Arts Extra Fine embossing powder. That's what I just tapped that die on, and we're going to get started on this beautiful background stamp. Right here for my Ranger matte medium glue, I bought this screw-on extra fine metal tip. It's wonderful. It has the little pin that goes down in, and I absolutely love it. Comes in a set of 2. So I put that on to make sure I had a nice fine line. I like this, actually, this little clip, this screw tip, better than I like the fine liners. And I'm taking out some of my my powder static, and I put it on there, and I'm going to put my mail call stamp on black cardstock, and I'm going to make 2 of them just to make sure that if one doesn't work out, I have 2. See how I have this other one? And that one didn't look too straight to me, so we're going to do it on a larger sheet of paper. Take my Hero Arts Ultra Fine. I love the Ultra Fine embossing powder. And see that card there that we made in the last video? I'll link that. You have to see how we did that. It is amazing. It's a no-touch emboss from your deep etched background stamps. Beautiful. Here's where the fun begins. We're going to build our own embossing folder. And I took a piece of thick cardstock, the bottom brown piece there. I cut out, like I said, 5 different houses, and the top house to every one of these that we're building up, you want to make sure all the little pieces parts, like the windows and the roof, is empty. I'll make sure each house, the roof is, you push the die so all of the paper is missing. That way you get a great emboss when your machine goes over it. And now you take off, I have 1 layer 4 layers thick, 1 3, 1 2, and another one 4 layers. And I want them to be all over. This is for the inside piece of my card. And I want it to match the outside of my card to have houses, but I didn't have an embossing folder that had houses. So you know what we do? We build one. So here we go. We'll start, let's say, with the 4 layers. I take the one white, the top part up in the upper left corner. I'm just making sure that I built them properly there. So now I take that with the 4 set, and I take off the top house, and I'm going to put mailing tape, that sticky mailing tape, but only halfway up. I don't want it to touch the roof because I want that embossing paper to go through those layers and leave me, because it's going to go through cardboard, like I'm going to 120-pound cardstock, right? So grab any kind of glue you want and grab your tape, any kind of tape, and let's start building our embossing folder. So I grabbed the tape here. It's that mailing tape, the thick stuff. I cut off a little piece, made sure it was nice and even. See how I folded it over like that, cut it so it was cut all the way around, only halfway up. Remember, you don't want it to touch the, see how it doesn't touch the roof? And then I glued down the nice portion where everything is die cut perfectly over top. Isn't that pretty? And it's all together and it's perfectly even. And then you move on to the next house and you tape the 2 layers. This is a 2-layer. I wanted them to be different dimensions all over and have, you know, just, I didn't want them all even. I wanted to have texture. Texture, texture, texture. And so now we're just going to do each house like that, whether they're 2 layers, 3 layers, or 4 layers. The other than the top piece, the rest is going to be taped together so it'll stay when you run your embossing folder you're making through. These houses aren't going to move. See how it has the tape around them? And then you glue the house to the top. It works perfect every time. Each row of these houses end up perfectly aligned because the tape is holding it down underneath, the glue is holding the top piece, and the pressure of the plates, they are going to give us the most beautiful embossed page for the inside of this card that will match the outside. It's unbelievable. So now I made sure that I did a quick run through. This is not the one I'm going to use. I just always do one to make sure it is exactly lined up like I'd like. And then I situate these little houses. You don't have to glue them down. You don't want anything mushing out. Just set them there. And when the pressure hits them, they will stay there all the time. So there you have it. I have the houses just how I want them. And then I have the cardboard with the houses, my black cardstock, my squishy pad, but then I have to get a new plate out because that one was terrible. Yeah, it was really curved. I used them like crazy. So I got out the new green one, ran it through my Vagabond. Wait till you see how gorgeous this embossing folder. We made it. And look at every house is raised up in differently. Just looking at it, I just think it's beautiful, and it's going to match the front of our card perfectly. I used the Avery L sheets, and I put my die that my embossing folder I just made, and I put the other black piece so I can just see how raised, you know, gives me a visual. I'm putting some double-sided tape you'll find over at Tupelo's. They sell the really good stuff too, so I like that. I put it down here. I used the deboss. Only the roof on each house was raised up, and the rest was debossed, the house, and the little windows were raised up. Now this is my jelly pen white. I like this better than my Signo. This is the brightest white pen of all the pens I've used. I went and bought 5 of them, just in fear one would run out and I couldn't get another one. And it's the Jelly Roll White. And I'm going around stitching all the edges, and I end up stitching the houses. I wanted them to stand out because it all started with the Impression Obsession background rose stamp. That led to having tiles. That led to having houses, which led to having stitches because in the house, maybe Nana's sewing. It all came together like that for me, and I wanted to say hello from all these little houses, from my home to yours, with the Lawn Fawn scripty hello set. And like I said, check out the store. You're going to love it over at Tupelo's. You really will. You'll be emailing me and thanking me for the wonderful order and all the surprises you get. And yeah, there it is. It's my jelly roll. So when you're putting the dots, I decided to use a sheet of plastic for your hand. That way none of the oils off your hand will go onto your cardstock. And I thought all the houses having the same dots that are going around the edges would just look beautiful. It'd make the emboss and the deboss stand out. And look I get white, bright lines using this. So as I had it there, this had kind of a nice font on it. So look how quickly with that nib that screws onto the end of your Ranger Matte Medium glue. Took 2 minutes to screw that little thing on there, and it let glue out much better than my multi-liners. I love it. I took that same plastic, used it as a ruler so that I could make sure the hello was perfectly straight. Then I grabbed the plastic and I rubbed it down, and just going over a few of the little lines. Then I decided to make some straight lines across the um, the raised emboss roofs. Don't they look beautiful? And made them kind of scripty, like the scripty die. And now here comes the beautifulness. I took some of our alcohol inks in the marigold. I put it on. I wanted it to kind of look like the sun was shining through the windows on the die cut. I did them in white and black to match the inside. And now I just heat set it. I'm going to cut it out so that it's the size of the bottom portion of our card where the ribbon is, but I want it to go above the ribbon so it looked like sunshine coming off the ribbon. There's always something in my thinking for everything I do, and this was my thought. So I just used my Fiskars cutter. I thought of putting it up there, but it was at a proportion for the rule of thirds. It didn't belong there. It belonged on the bottom. Yes. So I put it on there, and I put the houses so that the yellow was showing through the bright sunshine. Put the Happy Mail there and the hello to the left. That way it was more proportioned there. And now I have to figure out, okay, how am I going to glue this? So I decide to put my houses. I put my Ranger Multi-Matte glue on the back of the houses, the white row first, and this is all one die. And the other die are separate houses to go over top to give you a 3D look. I placed it there, and then I took the multi-medium glue on the back, and look at that tip. Oh, comes out just like butter. And then I put it down, made sure that some of that yellow ink, alcohol ink, was at the top hitting the ribbon. Oh my, it looked beautiful. And use your plastic to press it down. And I just think it was gorgeous. Now we're going to do every other house black so that I have raised images like the inside. I put double-sided roll of tape. You get this great big roll over at Tupelo's. That's my next order. I can't wait to get them. They're hard to find here in Canada for that roll. So I was thrilled to see they had them over at the store. Now I'm going to take my little black house and I'm going to situate them. See how you can see the yellow alcohol ink shining through the acetate. Oh, it looks gorgeous. Look at that. Yes. And this is just a hello from my house to your house. And I want to say mail call right there with the tag. I raised it up with the roll of double-sided tape. And yes, look at how beautiful that tip on that bottle works. I grab my tweezers and I set that down, and then I grab my plastic so that I can make sure it's secure, and the you can use the lines that are on the tile to make sure it's perfectly even. And I had no problem gluing with this metal tip. You get 2 to a package and it just screws on. It's gorgeous. And then I made it look like a shadow, just like our houses. When I put those black houses on the bottom, I made sure that they were over just a little bit so you had a shadow. Oh, I love this card. Look at, yes. So then I decided glossy accents. Oh yeah, we have to have glossy accents on the roof so that you can really see how raised up they were. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me on my Friday guest design team project number 3. And I have a second card that I'm going to put out right after this, where we did the glass section in the other video, the stained glass that just looked gorgeous. Well, I did a real unusual card for that, so I hope you stay with me as we experiment with a different interaction card. So I'm going to post how this looks in the pictures. Please go and check out Tupelo Designs LLC. I'll leave it in the link. I'll leave my blog link so you can go over and get every product. You just have to press on it, take you right to the store prices. Have a blessed week, everybody. Enjoy the pictures.